mine back a little.
Y'all gonna be able to see your comments.
I'll see it on the side. Let me see.
Or did that the little bottle?
Okay, this just started. Okay. Welcome back to our live. It's BD Diana Vlogs and
Your girl, the real life plug, and it's another episode for the Travel CNA podcast. Today we're gonna be talking about our ghost stories.
So we've been CNAs for a couple of years, and we've had pretty scary encounters while working night shift.
For sure. Night shift is not my favorite. I don't like working overnights. 3 to 11 is my time of day. That's my favorite time of day to work. So if I can avoid night shift, I do by all means, because it's the worst, especially when you have a patient die on you. Oh, that is the worst.
Oh, during the night, yeah. I had 2 patients die on me one night. I think one died like at midnight, the other one died at 5 in the morning. It was tough. Do you want me to go or do you
Yeah, you can go.
Yeah.
I thought you was gonna finish the story.
So one of my ghost stories, I have a couple, and it's all been from the same facility. So I remember one night I was working, and I kept on seeing this one lady in a red sweater, and I was like, this lady should be asleep, but I don't remember any resident having a red sweater. So I was like, let me go see. So I go and I see her walking. So I like run down the hall to catch her, and when I turn, there's nobody there, and I go back to the room. I was brave that night. I would have never gone back to the rooms after that. But I go back to the rooms looking for her, and there's nobody there. So I was like, dang. So I asked the day shift, and I was like, hey, is there anybody that owns a red sweater? They're like, no. And I was like, well, there's this one lady that's always walking up and down the hall. They're like, oh yeah, that lady passed away a couple years ago. I was like, oh, so I see her spirit every night. And then there was another ghost. He was a man in a black suit. So I remember one time I turned and I saw him coming towards me. So I just was waiting for him to come and ask me, but my brain didn't click in that moment. And I was like, why is there a man that's fully dressed in a black suit coming towards me? And when I looked again, he was gone. So I was like, oh, this always happens like around 2 or 3 in the morning. So I get so scared. And then another one was a resident that scared the living crap out of me. So this resident, he decided that he was gonna walk and go to every single room and turn on the lights, the empty rooms, and then he decided to turn on the TV in one of them. So I was like, okay. So I go in to check when he turned on the call light. It was 4 of us working that night. All 4 of us go to check to turn off the call light, and I see the bed moving because the lights were off. I was like, this is my worst nightmare. And I was like, somebody needs to go in. And I was about to leave because that was scary. And then I heard him coughing. And I was like, wait, I think this is an actual resident. So I go in, and it was my resident. He was like, I'm going home. No, sir, you're going to bed. It's 2 in the morning. You're not going anywhere.
Oh no.
Y'all got any New Mexico contracts? I'm in Orlando, Florida. I would love to do. We don't have any New Mexico contracts right now. She's in Orlando and she wants to travel. Right now we only have per diem contracts. So they're not long contracts. They're like 2 weeks, 3 weeks max.
Well, actually, because I talked to that person yesterday, so they kind of broke down how the per diem works a little bit better. So, for us to let them know. So what will happen is if you qualify for the contract that we have, the two contracts that we have available in California, is that you have to go through an initial intake interview, and that's usually with Sylvia. And then after, if you qualify, then you receive a link to the official application for the agency that we're pairing you with, and you have to fill out a Kamana profile. And if you already have one, that's great. You're one step ahead in the game. And then you schedule a video interview with the actual agency, and the facility that the contract is with will call the client specialist of the agency and let them know what days they have available for like the pay period or for the month, and then the agency will let you know those days. So we don't have like a direct hire type situation. It's more so you have to qualify, because a lot of people just show up, or a lot of people say they want these jobs, say that they want these contracts, and then they do the interview and then nothing else happens, or y'all don't follow up. So you have to start qualifying for a lot of these newer agencies.
Any per diem contracts in Atlanta, Georgia?
Yes, there are.
Yes, there are. If you want to send me an email, my email's in my bio, and I can get you some more information.
For sure.
Have you ever traveled with pets, and how do you prep before leaving for a 12-hour shift? So yes, I traveled with my dog. I love him to death. So me, it was kind of hard traveling with a dog, because when you drive the 20-hour drive, it gets to them, so you gotta be stopping every like 2-3 hours to take him to the bathroom. And then for the 12-hour shift, I would usually just keep him in his cage, and during my lunch break, I would come and take him out to the bathroom. But I would take him out in the morning, take him out during my lunch break, and then after work, we would go on a walk. So that's how I would take care of my dog. But during like the night shift was a lot easier, because he would sleep all night while I worked, and during the day, I would have him like roam around the room. So for the 12-hour shifts, that's how I would keep my dog satisfied. My first travel assignment, my dog had her puppies. How was that? Imagine having a dog and then it gives birth while you're in a travel assignment.
Oh.
I don't know.
I would have had to go home.
Yeah, I would have gone home. I would have been like, let me take my dogs home. Drop them off with my parents. But yeah, I would travel with my dog. I want to bring him here so bad, but I don't know if I can. I'm trying to figure out how I can bring him and where I could keep him. I feel like the lady upstairs would poison him. Yeah. It was crazy. I was team no sleep. I believe that.
I bet. How many puppies did she have in her litter?
Team no sleep. Because imagine taking care of all those puppies.
You came on an assignment with one, and now you leaving with like
8.
more. Like, what? That is intense. So,
how much experience do you need to become a travel CNA? So you need 6 months to a year. So people ask that a lot, and it depends on the agency, and it also depends on you. If you feel like you're ready to go on an assignment after 6 months of being a CNA, that's good, because once you get to a new facility, there is no training. You barely get to know the residents' names, and you're just there. They just set you off on the floor. I've been to facilities where I have to figure everything out. The residents' names, the residents' diet, everything. If I ask the nurse, they'll be like, oh yeah, you're taking the wrong resident. Oh, that's the wrong resident. He doesn't eat puree. He eats regular. So you have to figure that out. So if you feel comfortable after 6 months of being a CNA to do all that, that's good. I did it after a year because I actually felt comfortable traveling, knowing that I was getting myself into that. What do you recommend?
I recommend doing like I recommend a year, like the agencies in a long term care facility, because there are a lot of things that you need to know and know how to handle, like a heavier set. Because in the nursing home facilities, you will have anywhere from 10 to 15 up to 20, 30 patients sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to know how to manage your time and know what tricks and hacks to use in order to get by faster. And I really think a year to 2 years, honestly, because there was so much that I thought they were going to teach me in CNA class, and then when I got into the field, it was a completely different thing. They like, yeah, I don't know what you trying to do. This is how you do it. Like the whole draw sheet situation, like giving showers, bed baths, modified bed baths, like it's completely different than what you go through for a week in clinicals and what they tell you is in the class. So I feel like in order to really be ready for an assignment, especially now since we're still in the midst of this panoramic, like you really need that year to 2 years experience in a long term care facility.
And
For sure.
also, one thing that facilities do is that they put the most workload on travelers, so they don't work. So they don't overwork their staff. So they overwork the travelers and not their staff.
What?
So I remember one time they did that to me. I was in South Dakota. Each hall had 25 residents, I think. They put two staff members in one hall and they put me in the other one by myself. I went up to the DON. I was like, I'm a traveler. I don't know these residents like the staff members do. I was like, you send a staff member over here or I end my contract. So that day, the DON got mad at me. She argued with me. And I was like, I will walk out right now. And I called my recruiter. My recruiter called, sent an email, and then all this chaos just to get somebody else over there. So they were not gonna overwork me. You have to like find your tips and tricks to not get overworked.
For sure.
Let me see. What do you guys do on your days off?
This. Talk to y'all.
So me on my days off, on the places I go to, like I remember when I was in Tennessee, I did so many things because I was in Knoxville. Well, near Knoxville. I was in Maryville. So I remember I would go to Knoxville. I would always get Chipotle because Chipotle is literally the best thing on earth. I went to, I don't know what the place is called, but it has like the Titanic Museum. I love that museum. It was amazing. I would go there again. I went to like the roller coaster rides. I always find stuff to do. When I was in Pennsylvania, I went to like one of the biggest malls in the US, the King of Prussia. That was the mall. I would go to the outlets. I would just go do like random things, just find like attractions to go to. I would go to like the famous buildings and stuff and take pictures in front of them. Um, what else would I do? Oh, when I was in Pennsylvania, I was like 5 hours away from one of my aunts. So when I would have like my 3, 4 days off, I would go visit my aunt. What else? In South Dakota, it was hard because there was literally nothing to do. I had my puppy at the time, so we would have play dates all day. We would go on walks. We would do stuff together all day, every day. What would you do on your days off?
On my days off, most of the time I would just go to work. I ain't even gonna lie to y'all because I didn't have a significant other, no kids, no pets. So, and sometimes I didn't have a car, and depending on where I was, I would just stay. I would just either stay in my hotel or facility housing, or I would just go to work. I did bring my sewing machine with me on a couple of occasions, so I was making my, making clothes and sewing. My makeup, planning my makeup, doing a whole lot of self-love, self-care. Heavy on the shopping, but it was mostly online shopping because I'm usually in the middle of nowhere. And that's it. And now I'll do this. Talk to y'all.
Yeah, days off. It's rare to have days off, especially as a traveler. You get to pick up days as a traveler, which I would do. I would work probably like 8, 9 days in a row sometimes. What do you guys doing? Is it all nursing homes or hospitals? It depends on the agency, mostly. and it depends on your experience. Like if you worked in a nursing home and you tell your recruiter, I want to go to a hospital, they're going to say no because you have no hospital experience. Because nursing home and hospitals are two very different things. And I learned that the hard way.
For sure. A lot, most. So now that I'm a part of a nurse-owned staffing agency network, I understand the travel game a whole lot more. So like the larger companies, they're going to have more of your hospital contracts, more of your larger franchises like Future Care and Genesis and what's the other one? Manicare. Like your larger franchises are more so going to have a healthy mix of hospital, long-term cares and things like that. Your smaller companies or your startup companies like Cat Med staff is going to have more so long-term care facilities. They might have a healthy mix of like long-term acuity care, but more so nursing homes. And then assisted livings. I haven't really seen. I haven't seen any contracts for assisted livings. Um, the cruise lines. Now I did see a post about that the other day, and I'm thinking that's where the money is about to start being at, is on the cruises, because if you're on a cruise, that means that you're fully vaccinated, you got money to take the risk to get sick on a boat, and you still need money. So I think the cruise lines is where it's going to be at next.
Wait, there's jobs on cruise lines?
Yeah, there's jobs in jails.
Yeah, well, jails, yeah, I know that they make a lot of money. I might hop on a cruise.
I don't know if I could be in that small confined space. Like I like space, I like to smoke. And
I
don't
feel
know,
like I would probably
need on a cruise.
seasick.
Yeah.
How do you guys find housing? Are you both with Arias? How did we find housing? I was with Arias. Housing, I would just usually let them find my housing, because I didn't want to go through like the whole process of me getting my own apartment, me doing all this and that. I'd just be like, just do my housing. Sometimes it's better to get your own housing, but I just did not want to go through the whole process of doing that for like a 3-month contract. And
oh my bad, go ahead.
Oh yeah, and I'm the only one with I was the only one with Arias. I separated from them because it's a good company, just the recruiters are horrible, so
beware. So excuse me, what was the question? Oh, housing. So one of my first assignments, like I've been doing this for a long time, so I just say one of the first because I don't really remember which one was the first, how long ago, all that. So one of the first assignments I had was very close to my house, and this was way before I knew about having a tax home or a second tax home or anything like that. So I was with my mama. I was in the crib chilling. One of the next ones, I think it was to Pennsylvania. Oh, Pennsylvania/Ohio. And this particular facility had housing on the land, so I didn't have to worry about that, but it definitely did come out of my pay. That's why I'm trying to tell y'all that nothing that these agencies give y'all is free. It's not free. It doesn't work like that. Then let me see. The other time, I usually stay with my family. Or I stay with my friends, so I don't really have to worry about housing because I'm a single woman, so I don't really like to be in hotels by myself for extended amounts of time. But if I had like a travel buddy or something like that, then I probably would use a hotel or like an Airbnb or something like that. But I usually just stay with my family or my friends.
let me see. Oh no!
Oh no!
Facebook fell.
Come back.
Oh no, Facebook. Sorry, my bad.
She's so disrespectful. Say.
How did you guys do with transportation? Oh, let me tell y'all.
What's the question?
How did we do with transportation?
Oh gosh.
So me, I've always had my own car, except for one assignment. I had my own car. I would drive it everywhere. And one assignment, I decided that I was gonna get a rental. The worst thing I ever did. Getting a rental is the worst thing. because it comes out of your paycheck. They do not pay for it. They just get it for you, so it's easy for you just to go pick it up. But it comes out of your paycheck. It was like $300 a week, not every 2 weeks, not a month, a week to keep my rental. So I was like, I call up my brother. I was like, yo, bring me my car, cause I'm spending a whole like 2 car notes on this little rental, and it was a Kia Soul. Like who drives a Kia Soul? I was like, my recruiter did me so dirty getting me a Kia Soul. If you guys like Kia Souls, that's cool, but I do not like them.
So transportation for me, when I was in Pennsylvania / Ohio, I did not have my own car, but there was like a whole group of other people like traveling with us and everything like that. So, we like carpooled and stuff. Anytime, the first 2 times I lived in Virginia and was traveling in Virginia, I did not have my own car, and it was very difficult because I was dependent on my roommates, to get me around and stuff like that. Very ghetto, would not recommend. Very grateful, forever grateful, but I just would recommend having your own transportation. Then another assignment I did in Virginia, actually my 2000 Mercury Mountaineer broke down on me the day I moved. Like, I drove from Baltimore to Virginia, Petersburg. Comment down below if you know what that is. Drove to Petersburg and my car broke down. That, like, I had just moved all my stuff into my apartment and everything. Like, this was the type of contract that you could just keep extending. They had the hours.
Oh, yeah.
So I moved there with Mark. You know what I'm saying?
Remember that
story? So I moved there because I was just going to keep working the assignment. My car broke down the day after I got all my stuff into my apartment. I called my recruiter crying because I'm like, oh my God, I got this brand new $1,000 apartment. I don't know how I'm going to pay my bills. I don't know how to work. None of that. So my recruiter got me a rental car, which is crazy because it was also a Kia Soul.
Oh.
It was a black Kia Soul.
Mine was gray.
I was paying like $500-$600 every week for that car. Plus what I needed to get fixed in my car was well over $1,000. Rent, brand new apartment, gotta eat. Like, it was just so much all at one time. So I just recommend you have your own transportation, or see if you can work out a monthly rental arrangement or like a monthly rate with the rental agency, as opposed to paying the lady at the counter the first time, because I had to get a rental car twice. So the first time, because I took my car to the wrong mechanic and it didn't work, and like it didn't get fixed. So it took me a whole nother 2 months to get my car fixed. And so the first time the lady was like, you're paying like $800 every week for this, right? I said, what? Hell no, I ain't know that. Like, I'm sitting here wondering why I'm working 16-hour shifts, like 5-6 days a week, and my check's still only $800. I'm like, yo, what is going on? I'm busting butt. I'm busting tail. That's actually what made me get another job. I was already working 7 to 3 and 3 to 11 at that place on my assignment. So the place that was up the street from my house, I had already worked there before. So I'm like, y'all, I can get here at like 11 o'clock. So I can get here at like 12 because the place was an hour away and my house was right up the street from the second job. Oh, yeah. So I'm like, just give me a second. I can get here by like 11:30, 11:45. They're like, all right, cool. You just gotta stay till 7:30, 7:45. It was just a whole mess. Just have your own car. Make sure your car is ready to go on the road, man. Like, it gets hella hectic on the road. That's why we always tell y'all, like, traveling costs money. Hey, Kiki.
Yeah. For my traveling jobs, I got 2 new cars. So I had a 2021 Toyota Corolla. I got it totaled on my first out-of-state assignment. And I hate my recruiter because of this. I called her, I texted her, I did the impossible to reach her to give me a rental car because I knew that they did rental cars because one of my homegirls told me. So I did the impossible. This woman calls me up 2 weeks later after I got my other car, a 2020 EcoSport, telling me, oh, I'm sorry, my phone died. Your computer, your phone, all of this died for 2 weeks. So how are you making money? I was so mad. I hated her ever since. So I don't really like her anymore. Have y'all taken any contracts in Illinois Springfield? No, I've never worked in Illinois. Have you ever worked in Illinois?
No, but you know what? I think that's where part of the bag is going to be for the spring, because a lot of people are getting certified in Illinois right now, and a lot of people are looking for Illinois contracts. In addition to the fact that there are maybe 4 states in the Midwest that are about to put a cap on how much agencies can pay you per hour. And I believe that Missouri and Illinois are 2 of those states. So again, a lot of y'all be like, oh, I refuse to work for $11, $12, $13. They're starting to implement these caps nationwide, how much you can get paid per agent, like how much the agency can pay you. And if they're coming after the agencies next like that, they're definitely about to start coming after the nursing homes. Like, they feel like we make entirely too much money. And then, hold on, somebody said something to me over here. I forgot. Y'all, it gets cold in California. I don't know if y'all know that or not. You gonna be in Vegas next month?
Oh, Vegas.
How'd you get that type of contract?
Let me tell y'all. This one lady texts me. She's like, hey, how do I get certified in Las Vegas? Well, you have to get certified in Nevada. I don't want to go to Nevada. I want to go to Las Vegas. Ma'am, Las Vegas is in Nevada. You need to get certified for you to go to Las Vegas. It's Las Vegas, Nevada. Las Vegas is not its own state. I swear to God, some people need to go back to geography class.
Same thing happened to me the other day. So I was trying to help somebody find a contract, and we have links on our website, nurseunit.com, where you can actually schedule calls to talk with us if you feel like, you need a little bit of one-on-one time. So I'm trying to schedule a call with this lady. First of all, she comments on a whole post from like December. Hi, I tried to schedule a call with you. It didn't work. I said, hey, okay, I'm sorry about that. I can understand how upsetting that can be. Would you mind sending me a message with your email in it? She drops her email on the status. I'm like, okay, well, you don't want to follow directions. Let's let everybody know what your email address is. What time zone do you live in? Dallas.
That's not a time zone.
That's not a time zone. Where do you live? Houston. What time zone do you live in, ma'am?
Texas. Be like, what is that, Easter time?
I don't know.
I think it's because...
No, because...
I don't work Pacific time, Mountain time, Eastern time.
I think they're standard. Is it just a standard time?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know. But I know it's a different time, though, because my friend Saquon lives in Houston. And when we were in New Mexico, we were an hour behind her, I think. And when I'm in Baltimore, I think we an hour before her.
If we were in New Mexico, we were an hour behind her. So we are... Right now,
it's 4:34 here, so it's 5:30 in New Mexico. It's 6:30 in Atlanta, Baltimore, and New York.
Texas is Central Time. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Is that Sandrine?
No.
Oh, Jody. Hey, thanks for letting us know.
Michaela and Jody are both helping us. Central Standard Time.
Thank you.
Okay, that's a lot.
My 10-year class reunion is coming up, so I got a little bit of an excuse, you feel me? But Kiki, I'm waiting for you to tell me.
6:34 in Texas. Okay.
In Texas, okay. But either way it goes, I had my computer right there, so I could have just as easily Googled it. But it's the fact that you want to communicate with me on this status where there are 300 other comments. Damn. Just message me, please. Anyway.
I do personal calls. If you guys ever need to call me, I have my email in my bio. You can shoot me an email there, and we can talk over stuff that you want to know. Just an option.
YouTube, if y'all want to talk to me, please go to nurseunit.com.
Get out of your mouth.
Oh, you live in Vegas. Okay, that's Liddy. Are you subscribed to my channel? I don't even think that I know of any other subscribers in Vegas. That's lit. Are you gonna be at TravCon? Oh my God, are y'all gonna be at TravCon? Do y'all know about TravCon? Comment down below if y'all know about TravCon. Y'all need to be there, as well as the CNA Travelers Convention. So I don't know about y'all, but I think that conventions and shit like that for us is super lit because obviously we always get this shit under the stick. Like, people always forget about us. And a wonderful woman by the name of Della has created a convention just for us. It's going to be in Omaha, Nebraska. We're going to be there. So we would love to see y'all there. We're also going to be at TravCon in Vegas. That's in September. Excuse me. We're going to be there for that. And there are a few other things coming up and about that we're going to be at, but definitely look up the CNA Travelers Convention in Omaha, Nebraska, and the
TravCon in Las Vegas.
It's going to be litty.
Yes, I'm so excited.
I went to TravCon last year. It's actually on my channel, on my YouTube channel. Y'all will see bits and pieces of it, and it was mad litty. Y'all should be there.
Hi, Shika. What are some tips, advice for new travelers? So some tips for new travelers. Do not let your recruiter submit you to random contracts. My recruiter did that to me. I ended up in Tennessee. I ended up in South Dakota. Ended up in Pennsylvania, the city I did not want to go to. So do not let them submit you to random things. Read your contracts over. Make sure that your dates are exact the date that you want to start and the date you want to leave. Because contracts were always sent wrong to the facilities, and the facility people would get mad at me. My contracts would probably end like 2 weeks earlier. They'd be like, well, that's not the contract we got. Well, that's the contract I signed. So I'm leaving the contract I signed. I don't care what contract you got. And they would get mad at me. They would be like, why are you so petty? Because...
Hey, Alicia! Hey, girl! Thanks for joining!
Look at Alicia. I love her.
Hey, sorry, finish your story. Our girl Alicia is watching, guys. So we're live on YouTube, TikTok, and Facebook.
Yeah. Advice.
No, finish. Make sure the contract. Read that shit.
Read it back to back. Make sure you're getting your money right, because I remember one time I was not getting my stipend right. And at the end, my contract was like almost ending. So I checked like all my stuff, and I was like, why all of a sudden I'm making a lot more money? And I checked, and I called my recruiter. I was like, Joe, you haven't been giving my stipend right. And Arias had to give me like an extra like $800, almost $1,000 for my stipend. So I was like, yeah. So you have to read that over.
My piece of advice for new travelers is to make sure you have some money saved up. Mm-hmm. I understand that sometimes there are emergency situations, and you have to, get ready to take a contract with little to nothing. That was just about to be my life in December, but Cat Med staff changed my life, saved my life. But yeah, make sure you have some money saved up, or try to have some money saved up. As women, you should just not travel alone, without money, because anything could happen. And a lot of these agencies will make it seem like, oh, we're giving you a $5,000 sign-on bonus by the time you get to this place, and that's not the case at all. You know what I'm saying? So your car could break down. There's actually a video about that on my YouTube channel in my Travel CNA series. My car broke down on the way to Atlanta. I'm driving the back because I don't drive on the highways. And living in California has made it worse. I do not drive on the highways.
I drive here, and I hate it so much.
She's a beast. But I drive on the back roads from Virginia, Team Bart, from Virginia to Atlanta. And my car broke down in the middle of nowhere, North Carolina. And thank God I had some money. I had to get a hotel room. I had to get my car fixed. I had to eat. All types of shit. And it was the end of the month. Rent was about to be due. So, had some money saved up. Somebody asked you something on TikTok.
They've been asking a lot. Hey y'all.
Hey.
Can y'all travel with your pets? I traveled with my dog. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like taking a child, honestly. So just think about it. I love my dog. He was not as annoying as a child, obviously. But you can travel with your pets. You just gotta let your recruiter know so they can find you a pet friendly place, and then you gotta pay a pet fee for the hotel, not for the agency, and that's on you. So the agency doesn't pay for it. I think I had to pay like $80 a month to keep my dog at the hotel.
And then depending on what type of Oh, if you do bring your pet, sometimes you might not be able to stay at an as nice of a place if you didn't have a pet. So you might be staying at a $60 a night hotel plus your pet fee, and that's another $60. That's 120, and you're staying at like a Motel 6 or a Motel 8 or whatever the case may be because you have to pay for your pet. So it's not going to, balance out. But hey, bring them. I'm not telling you not bring them.
Yeah, bring them. I love it. Your COVID contract got canceled. Oh,
Yes.
COVID contracts are getting canceled because people are getting vaccinated. All of this COVID pay is just going down since COVID cases. I don't know. COVID cases are rising. Then all of a sudden they go down. Then they rise. They go down. But there's no COVID contracts anymore.
It's not that they're not COVID contracts, they're just not as high paying. So when COVID first hit, y'all were getting like these super, super high taxable per hour contracts. So the taxable per hour is like the 15, 25, $30 per hour that that you make per hour period in a contract. When COVID came around, people were making like 45, 60, $75 an hour taxable. Now those high paying contracts are not around. It's back to what it was before traveling became a trend. Like it's back to being 15, 14, $20 per hour for the taxable rate. Y'all don't know that even if it was $75 taxable, sometimes that was a blended rate. And what that means is that they put your stipend rate plus what you make for actually wiping ass together. And that's what a lot of you are used to seeing. And because there was not a lot of information out here about being a traveler, y'all didn't know that. But there are still COVID contracts. They're just not as high paying as they were before. And if you look at the statistics, more of the COVID rates where they're higher are in more so rural areas like New Mexico, Missouri. No shade, no tea to y'all, but y'all are not like big cities. Obviously, California is still an epicenter for the virus, but the more rural environments, their cases are higher. Is what I read in an article the other day. So if you go to a more rural area, your cost of living will be cheaper, which means your stipend will increase. But if you want a higher taxable rate, your stipend is going to decrease. You want your stipend to be larger, then your taxable rate is going to be smaller. So you just gotta know what you're looking for. Like, don't just be like, oh, I'm not working for $15 an hour. Okay, you want to make $45 an hour and get taxed for 30 of those dollars? Cool. The recruiter still will make their money either way.
So high paying contracts are not as available as they used to be. The only way that you can get paid more is if you're going to extend your contract, tell your recruiter, tell them to raise my pay and I'll extend. That was the way I started making more money at the end because I started traveling when COVID first hit. So I was getting those high paying contracts, but once they started going down, and people want high paying contracts but won't get vaccinated. Require your vaccination, but the facilities will. So if you want high paying contracts, you have to get vaccinated. So that's like the only way you'll get high paying contracts. And people don't want to get vaccinated and want high paying contracts. So there's nothing that I can do.
And then again, like we were telling y'all earlier about these per diem contracts, is that there are ways to guarantee that you get your 40 hours, right? You have to work 16-hour shifts. That's 3/16s and and an 8, or 3/16s and 2/4s, or however you want to break it down. You still have to work 3/16s. What we were saying about having money to travel is that if you already have money saved up, you're not going to be depending on that stipend to sustain you your first 2 or 3 weeks until you receive your first paycheck. So that's why another reason why you should have money saved up before you begin doing travel nursing. In addition to the fact that damn, what was I about to say? Travel nursing is a luxury. It's not a right. It's not, something that you are entitled to. It's a privilege. But it's something else I was about to say about. Oh, insurance. So a lot of y'all be like, well, if there's no stipend and there's no benefits with it, then I'm not going to take the contract. And I do preach take the insurance that are offered with your contract. However, there are independent entities in which you can purchase insurance through, and you can be covered all the time as a traveler, as opposed to only having coverage when you're on an assignment. And if y'all want to know more about that, comment down below, and that would be a separate video for y'all. But you can purchase independent insurance as well as government insurance, like government assistance, Medicaid, Medicare, whichever one applies for you. But you can purchase independent insurance and still do a per diem contract and not necessarily be a travel contract. You just gotta have some coin.
I have one in Pennsylvania for $16.50 time and a half for overtime. Okay, so she has a contract in Pennsylvania, $16.50.
What part of Pennsylvania?
I worked in York and Erie, Pennsylvania.
I worked in New Wilmington and Philly, but the Philly contract was only like a week though.
York was very, very ghetto.
You think York is ghetto?
Yes, it was really bad. People were like, I remember one time this man yelled at me at a parking lot. I was leaving a friend's house and then he like cussed me out.
It's ghetto because somebody
Atlanta is ghetto. I remember one time.
No. Oh
no, stop.
Atlanta is ghetto.
It's cool, but I remember one time I went to Atlanta when I was working in Tennessee to go check out Atlanta. And this one man, I was coming out of Subway, this one man runs and steals my Subway. He just like ran and I was like, I went back into the Subway and I was about to cry and the dude was like, don't worry, I'm gonna make you your sandwich. Yeah, and then I decided to sit inside and eat my sandwich because I was not gonna get robbed again.
Because he was going to take your sandwich a second time. Okay, so we got Jersey in the building on YouTube. Shout out to y'all.
New Jersey.
I don't like
it's
Jersey.
Cool.
I don't like it.
But people are so mean there.
They are. Y'all are so mean. Like, I will deal with a New Yorker in a heartbeat. Like, first of all, I love New York. You feel me? I got family up there. But almost every Jersey person I have ever encountered is so mean.
They're so mean for no reason.
No reason. I'm just like, hot. Oh, excuse me. Oh, but wait. My roommate from Job Corps, she was from Jersey. She was really sweet. Her name is Renee Grace. Check her out on YouTube.
Yeah, Jersey people are mean. I don't know what it is. I went to Ocean City, Jersey, and there's no reason for people to be so mean. I'm like, I wasted so much money here, and you guys are so mean to me.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, but let's see, where else have I been? I tried to go to New York so many times when I was in York, Pennsylvania. It was like a 3-hour drive. But
3-hour drive. Y'all, I do not like driving. Anything over 45 minutes put me on a flight. But I did, for real, I do not like driving. I hate it. I don't like it. Put me on a flight. 3 hours. Yes. But it took us 2 days to get here from New Mexico, though. Well, a little bit less. Not even a full 2 days. Probably like a whole 26 hours combined.
Yeah, because we had to stop, eat, and all that stuff. But it was lit. It was a fun car ride. Oh! And it also took us a little bit longer because we decided to go to Vegas.
Oh, yeah, we stopped in Vegas. Yes.
We got tied up. I was like, I know in Vegas, they do have shops 24 hours that do tattoos. So we decided to go get a tattoo in Las Vegas. So that was our journey.
For sure.
And then, I don't know, we didn't really sleep. Well, we slept.
We slept in the car at the gas station.
For like 4 hours. And then we went back on the road.
Yeah. We were like right on the Cali line though, because I remember watching the sun come up behind me.
Oh.
As we were driving into Cali. It was super cold. Like, people had this really bad misconception that it doesn't get cold on the West Coast. And I don't know who told us that, but it gets cold here, bro. Like, I'm sitting in my scrubs and leggings with this blanket on. I'm fucking freezing.
I'm from Colorado, so I don't really feel the difference.
The cold doesn't bother her anyway.
The cold never bothered me anyway. I know. I tell them, I'm like, in Colorado, like, you literally just be walking out in pants and a sweatshirt.
I went to Colorado in January. No. It was cold. I had on a coat, two layers under my sweatpants, long socks, like 4 shirts, a hoodie. No. Y'all can keep that. Shout out to the Coloradians. The night sky is very beautiful there, though. Very nice air quality. It's cold. And there's coyotes out there.
There's coyotes everywhere.
No, there's not.
There's coyotes here.
Here on this side of the world.
Are you guys recruiters?
No. I want to roll with y'all. I'm a TNA. Okay, you want me down with OPP? Well, she's a recruiter. Or does recruiter-like things. I'm a plug. I just hook y'all up with the contracts.
I do recruiter things. If you want to talk to me, more information, just ask me questions or something. There's my email's in my bio, and we can schedule a phone appointment, a phone interview.
Or you can go to nurseunit.com. She has a profile on there. I have a profile on there. You can schedule calls with us that way if that's a little bit easier.
Yeah, nurseunit.com.
That's probably easier.
Yeah, it is. Than sending an email. Because I get a lot of emails during the day. Yes, please. If you want to go to nurseunit.com or send me an email, it's up to you. And we can schedule an interview.
Yes.
I'm here every day. All day, every day.
You know, we need to do a video about how to write a resume.
Oh yeah, resumes are very important. You need to keep your resume updated. Every single assignment you go to, you need to put it on your resume. Because your resume is the thing that gets sent to the facilities to get your job. Do you have any contracts in MN? What's MN? Is that
Minnesota or Maine?
Or Montana?
Or Montana. I thought Montana was MT.
Minnesota. I don't think Minnesota's MN.
What would it be then?
What is MN? What state is that?
Somebody help us out real quick.
Yeah. Oh, Minnesota.
Okay.
Right.
No, not at the moment.
I know Minnesota contracts are very high during the winter because nobody wants to go to Minnesota nor Michigan. It snows so bad there.
Or Chicago.
Or Chicago. Chicago, Illinois. So the contracts are very high paying in the winter because it gets really, really bad there.
For sure.
Do not recommend. But if you want to make a lot of money, in South Dakota and North Dakota in the winter. I remember one time I was in South Dakota and it was gonna snow and I had to work the next day. The deal went like, oh, you have to sleep here. Excuse me? I was like, my hotel's 10 minutes away. No, well, maybe you won't be able to come in the morning because it snows. I have a dog to take care of. He is my literal child. I'ma leave. I don't care. If I'm not coming in tomorrow, that's your issue. You can sleep here, but not me. Yeah, the deal when she did not have patience for me, and I did not have patience for her. So we just did not work out. That was the contract I told them that my grandpa died. My grandpa's been dead for 13 years, so I felt so bad. On my way home, I was like, Grandpa, please forgive me, but you know why I did this? I was like, I was suffering. And then I got home. I got home safe, so it was good. I just stopped at Denver, Colorado, and I had to push a lady off my car. I swear to God, these crackheads look for me. The crackhead that stole my Subway, the crackhead that was rubbing against my car, the crackhead that freaking always followed me around. It's just crazy. I had a crackhead follow me in the bathroom when I was in Malibu. And my brother ran into the bathroom to go save me. I was protecting my sister, my cousin. I don't know what the fuck I was gonna do with the crackhead. But crackheads look for me. It's bad.
Somebody asked, where's the best place I've worked or we've worked?
I really like Colorado. That's my home state.
Miami for me.
Oh, I want to go to Miami.
We're going for my birthday.
Oh, yeah. Miami sounds lit.
I love Miami. What's the name of the song that I like?
La Gozadora.
Yo, that song goes so hard. Like, when that song comes on, it just makes me feel like I'm in Miami. Like, I love Miami so much.
I've been to Tampa. That's lit.
Tampa's cool.
Fort Myers. Is that what it's called?
I don't know.
Fort Myers.
I was in Clearwater.
Something like that in Florida. But it's cool there. I like Florida.
I like Florida. Okay, so
Where else have I been? Oh, I went to Maryland.
gang.
I went to Baltimore.
Gang. If you're from Baltimore, drop a comment down below right now.
I hate how they drive in Baltimore. It's literally so bad. I don't know if I'm the problem. No, I'm never the problem. They're the problem.
Okay, so since I've actually been to Colorado and I've been to her hood, they cannot drive in Colorado. I would rather deal with Baltimore traffic any day on 83 rush hour time northbound on the way up to Towson than drive in Colorado. Like,
What do you mean they don't know how to drive?
they don't know how to drive.
In Colorado, they drive crazy because
The snow, mountains hanging off the edges of cliffs and things, and they got these, what's it called? The things that shut down sometimes when it's snowing too much or something?
oh, like the little rail things.
No, like, remember when we were trying to get there and you were like, if they shut this down, then we can't leave?
Canyons.
They got canyons. Like, what the heck? Nah. Get me over east any day.
Colorado's
06 Honda
lit.
Accord. Cool. 2 mufflers.
Colorado's lit.
I mean, it was like, it was definitely nice. I definitely had a good time. The driving just, I was doing Kegels the whole time.
Really?
I was afraid.
I grew up driving in Colorado, so there's a lot of curves because there's a lot of mountains.
Baltimore, we bad, but not that bad. Exactly. We not that bad. And oh my gosh, y'all. So now that we're out here in California, then we just named so many places. I was stuck on the word. Now that we're out here in California, I never realized how flat Baltimore is. Never realized how flat New Mexico was. Like, it's very hellacious out here. Atlanta, and according to Amaretta, I wasn't in Atlanta. I was in the outskirts. But the surrounding areas of Atlanta, very hellacious. North Carolina, South Carolina has like some hellacious like areas. But for the most part, I'm used to being very vertical, flat
Really?
land. Yeah, this is different.
I've been to South Carolina too. I've been everywhere. Oh my god. Now in Colorado, there's a lot of mountains. I love hiking. Hiking is so fun.
Yeah, I'll walk, you know, do some hiking and some excursions and things like that on foot. My Lamborghinis. Not
Driving.
we woo, cause we woo fall off. We were on our way here, y'all, and the hills were just so much and the curves were so much for me. She had to take over driving. I couldn't do it. Like, it just,
It's just so much.
It was too much for me.
Yeah, I grew up driving in the snow, in cliffs. I don't know. I've just drove in everywhere, and here, it's so bad to drive. I hate it so much. So I take the bus, and the bus is lit. I have not been on a bus. I'm 22. I've not been on a bus since I was like, probably like 7, unless a school bus, but like on a transportation bus. Since I was like 7, never been on a bus. That's been like 15 years. And when I got on this bus, I was like, this bus is lit. Don't have to worry about hitting no other cars. Don't have to worry about switching lanes. I don't know. It's just horrible. The only time I have to drive is when we have to go get groceries or we have to go do like important stuff. But other than that, I'm taking the bus. Because here you have to pay for parking. You have to make sure that you're not parked in a street that they're cleaning at a certain time. It's just so much. But
And I'm kind of used to it though, because, I'm from Baltimore, so that's normal for us. But I will say that their transportation system here is definitely shitting on Baltimore's transportation system. It's super on time. That's what I'm gonna say. It's on time, and then it stops running at like 12, and then starts running at 1 or something like that. So it's lit. It's on time and free.
yeah. Gas is $5 here.
$5.59 I seen on the way to Richmond to go get groceries.
I do not pay that much for gas. So I tell them, I'm like, if we need to use the car, it better be for groceries or you're bleeding from a place that you're not supposed to be bleeding. But other than that, we taking the bus. If you need to go to the hospital because of a headache or something, we taking the bus.
No, we're not gonna go to the hospital for a headache. We're just gonna lay down, drink some water, take a nap. We're gonna use some home remedies first before we get the hospital. Oh my God, I can't imagine what a hospital bill would be like from here. Looking at how much they pay their staff, my God, I could not imagine a California ER bill. That shit is probably astronomical.
Probably more than I'll make in my lifetime.
Nah.
I don't know, but there's no trips to the hospital here unless you're bleeding from somewhere you're not supposed to, or something like really bad is happening. But if you need to go to the hospital for something like minor, which we're both medical professionals, so we know when we need to go to the hospital and when we don't. But unless you are physically dying, we'll drive to the hospital. Unless we need groceries, we'll drive to the hospital for like big things. But other than that, we taking the bus. I don't care. In Colorado, I would drive everywhere. Gas was still expensive. It was like $3.60. But I would drive because
That's expensive?
Yes. I'm used to like the $2. Because what the heck? Why is gas so expensive?
I'm gonna be honest, I haven't paid attention to gas for like the past 2 years. The only reason I pay attention to gas here is because I know that shit is high. And that's also because California is like a gas island and the Rocky Mountains cut us off from the rest of the gas supply and chain. Anyway, I'm not gonna be a super nerd. But yeah, I don't really pay attention to the price of gas because I gotta get that shit anyway. You're trying to save a couple pennies. Just like I was talking about, I'm actually about to drop this video today on my YouTube channel. Y'all don't know, right? Gas here is $5 because they're $5 a gallon because there's an additional 51-cent tax on the gas. So if they didn't tax the gas, it would be $4.50. You feel me? But then you also have to pay for the name brand and the franchise of where the gas is going. So that could be another 12 cents. You got to pay the workers that's putting the gas from the earth into the little barrel for it to get made in the gas. That could be another 6 cents. Then you got to pay the people that drive the gas from location to location. That could be another 12-cent charge. Like, gas is really not as expensive as we think it is. It's high because we have to pay for all these other things that come with having gas. The staff, transportation, franchise, labor and delivery, all types of shit. So as that pertains to being a travel CNA, your contract could be a $20,000 contract, $20,000 allotted just for you, one staff member to work. And you only want to work your mandatory 5/8 and rotating weekends. And that could only be $4K out of the $20K that you were supposed to make. Work. Just go to work. That's what you're there for, is to work. Just take your days off, your weekends off, and go explore then. Don't pick up more shifts than you can handle. If you haven't worked in a long time, don't think you about to hop into a per diem contract and just start busting out 16s like it's nothing. No, you need to build your way back up. So you might need to work 5/8, 10/8 back, and then, okay, now I'm going to pick up a 12. So you got 3/8 and a 12. Okay, well, I got this 1/12. Let me pick up another 12. So it's 2/8 and 2/12. Okay, well, let me break that down and do 3/8 and 1/16 and 1/4. You know what I'm saying? Like, treat yourself, take care of yourself, but also know that there's more money out there for you to get. Y'all click on the clickbait that says, oh, I made $30K in a contract, or I made $50,000 in 2 contracts, or the most viral video about being a travel CNA. I made $100,000 in a year being a travel nurse. Do you know how she did that? Budget, for 1. Didn't live outside of her means, for 2. Took advantage of all of the money that was available. Number 1, by working. Having an up-to-date resume, making herself look marketable to the agency that she was working for. Credentials up to date. Submitted the application right after the interview. Turned in the resume, come on a profile right after the interview. Stayed on her recruiter's ass. You said I was going to make $55 an hour. Why does it say I got $52.32 right here this week? Hold them accountable for what they're saying and get it in writing. They could promise you the moon like a nigga in jail, but until you get it in writing, it don't mean nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, for real, like, everything costs. It breaks down. So make them pay you what you're worth, for real.
And a lot of people reach out to me. They're like, well, I'm not making as much money as you said travel CNAs do. I would make a lot of money because I would work 6 out of the 7 days a week, and I would bust my ass off. I would do 2 16s and the rest 12s. That's why I made my money. You're not going to make money just working your 3 12s or your 5 8s. You have to work overtime to make the money, because that's where the money is. You'll get a contract. Okay, they're paying you $20 an hour. Cool. But overtime is $55. So you got to do your 40 hours and then still do the overtime. Like, you're not going to be making the money you're supposed to be making if you work just your 3 12s or your 5 8s. That's not how it works.
You could even do it where if your overtime rate is $50 per hour, then you work your 3 12s in the beginning of the week. So that way you get all of your, this shit too tight. So that way you get all of your base pay at $15 an hour. That's already done, knocked out the way. It gives you more of an incentive or more motivation. Like, okay, the rest of Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, I'm now making $55 an hour. I'm going to be on time for work. And you know what? I already worked 3 12s. I might as well go ahead and bust out another 2 12s and see. She said she worked 6 days out of the 7. Sometimes I be working 6.5, 6 8/10. Like, I'm trying to get all the money. Like, let me come in for 4 hours. Oh, I'm going to come in and pass trades, and then I end up staying for the rest of the shift. Oh, I'm only coming in to finish my charting from yesterday. Oh, y'all short of 8? All right, let me just, you know what I'm saying? Then that builds a good rapport with you and the staff there, and it changes the dynamic and the stereotype about agency workers, because it just needs to be changed. I ain't going to get into all that. But it might give you more of an incentive to do your overtime at the end of the week to make your $50, $55 per hour, as opposed to I'm just making $15 an hour, you know?
Yeah. And then agency, most facilities, well, the facility I worked at, they treated agency like crap. Like, most facilities I worked at, 80% was agency, and the staff still had the audacity to treat us like crap. So I would tell them, I would be like, if you do not get your shit straight, I'm calling my recruiter. And I would call my recruiter, and my recruiter would email the, I don't know what they're called, but it's like the company that sends like the agency. So they would they would email them, and then that company would reach out to the nursing home and be like, hey, you better start doing this for the agency, or else we're gonna stop sending agency. Because agency was the only one working. Agency was the only one doing everything. there while their staff wasn't doing stuff. Like me, I'm petty. Like if you're gonna try me, I'll be worse. In South Dakota, they were trying to make me run a hall of like 20 something patients. Okay, if there's one aide in one hall and another aide in the other, that's cool. But the times that they would do me in one hall and they would put two aides that been there for 5 years, I would get mad and I would go argue with the DON. And then the DON would be like, oh, well, this time that you spent arguing with me, you could have been getting a resident up. I don't care. You are going to put somebody else with me because I'm here to help. I'm not here to run the whole facility by myself. So I would go argue with them, and then they would do whatever they would do that because I would be like, okay, well, I'm going to end my contract. I will end it right here, right now. Oh, they're going to charge you. I don't care. I don't care if they charge me. I never got charged for leaving contracts early because, I don't know. Because I had valid reasons. They would, one thing that would piss me off was when I would pick up my shifts and then they would call me like, hey, what staff member wanted that hours? So you won't have to come in. Cool. Lit. So I knew I was gonna work, but then they called me that I didn't have to come in. Then they would call me the same day, the shift. Hey, well that person didn't show up. Can you come in? No, I'm not coming in. I'm in my pajamas. I stayed up late watching a movie because I knew I wasn't supposed to work today. So I'm not coming in. Oh, well, you picked it up. Yeah, I picked it up and you called me not to go in. So I'm not going in. I don't care. So that's one thing that facilities stopped doing with me is calling me to not come into my shifts when a staff member would try to pick up a shift. Because staff members are prioritized. And I'm like, yeah, staff members are not really like the most reliable.
If they were, you wouldn't need me to be here.
Yeah. And I know that was a good CNA because they would have me training the new CNAs, like their new permanent staff. They'll be like, hey, Sylvia, I got a CNA that you have to train. Hey, Sylvia, I have students here. They need to shadow you. They would have all these other people, their staff, but they would send all the students and the shadows to me because they knew I could handle taking care of a resident and teaching, unlike their staff that would complain, oh, well, I have to carry them around with me. But I know how to take advantage of the students and the new CNAs because I'm a hands-on learner. So I'll be like, hey, well, you got to do all that stuff by yourself. Hey, well, you got to do this. Hey, well, you got to do that. When we would shower the residents, hey, well, here's the soap, here's the rag, and here's that. I'm here to watch you shower them. And they'll be like, well, should I watch you first? I already showered a resident. I already showed you what you have to do. Now it's your turn. This one's one of the easier ones that does not fight, that cooperates, and he does everything himself. So little by little, I would like keep them going. So that's how I would train my CNAs and my students, which was the best. One agency sent me a paper to work for. Didn't send me paperwork. I see regular pay 13, overtime is 26. I tell him, don't play with me. 13 is kind of low. It also depends on the state. Some states, their CNA pay rate is low. I remember in South Dakota, the CNAs that had their, what is it called? Their Med-A license as well would get paid 14. I was getting paid like 20 something at that time. And I just had my CNA license. And then they worked there for years already. They're like, yeah, well, the grocery store pays more than they do it here at the hospital. Okay. But that's a joke, honestly. 13 an hour?
That's not enough for nobody to live off of. If it's just 13 an hour without a stipend or some type of allotment or reimbursement, it ain't for me. Mm-hmm. But y'all, this has been a great episode with y'all. We absolutely, positively love and enjoy talking to y'all on the Lifeline Travel CNA podcast. If you like this type of content, please make sure you like, comment, subscribe, follow, share. And until next time, we still out. It's been your girl, the Real Life Plug.
And Viridiana Vlogs.
We'll talk to y'all later.
Bye.
Bye. I done post on TikTok.